Hi, hello. In today's video, I will be animating my little guy. Funny story about animating my little guy. As you can see the finished product in the corner, it's really cute. I did a whole blinking animation and like a yawn. I thought it broke up the monotony a little bit of this bobbing side to side, and I think it's adorable. Also, I did decide to change my eyes to yellow. That was a decision made. But also, IBS Paint did not record me animating this, and so I had to screen record me coloring it, because thank God I realized it before I started coloring and shading and animating the face. I'm very sorry, but also the way I screen record things, this is enough footage for a video. But yeah, when I was animating this, I started out with 5 frames. I did 4 frames per second. I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna do 24 frames per second for something just small and cute. That's insanity. But I started with 4 frames, and then I colored them in. I should have shaded them too, but I didn't, and then I ended up having to shade every single layer, every single frame when I duplicated them all, because since it's supposed to be looping, I just started with the frames that I knew I wanted that would loop, and then I continued on from there. And then for the face animation, I did coordinate the faces to each of a certain frame, but I don't know how to explain it other than I didn't make it to where the blinking happened every second. I made it to where it happened every 6 seconds. So it's a 6-second loop of the face doing that, because I did the face animating on a different layer. And then I copy and pasted most of the eyes for the in-between parts, and I just transformed them to fit where they needed to fit to keep it more consistent, because the onion skinning wasn't helping me because I already colored it. There are a little bit of inconsistencies that I can see, like the ear. It doesn't bother me too much because it's when the hair's fluffing up anyway, so the hair would probably cover that part of the ear anyway. And then the flowers get thicky in some frames, which I don't know what the hell happened with that, but I didn't notice. But it's still pretty cute. I'm not gonna redo it for a while. It's something that I don't care for doing finished animations all that much. The monotony of it all slowly drives me insane. But, which is why it took an arm and a leg for me to make this little guy. I was done. But yeah, then I colored it. I used the colors I decided on. And then, yeah, most of this is me coloring and me fixing where I screwed up. There's lines where the shirt is and me fixing that. And then me coloring on a clipping mask. You guys don't get to see me do most of if you guys want more on-screen stuff like this, I can go for it. But the reason I don't is because I move a lot when I'm drawing. I'm zooming and I'm constantly spinning, and so with speed paint, increased up 500, 600 is kind of dizzying, because I'm constantly rotating and zooming in and out, and I know that's for some people that's uncomfortable. I don't usually do that, but if you guys want to see more of that, feel free to tell me, because I'll do that. Anyway, this is me doing the faces and transforming them. Yeah, that in-between frame, it's awkward. The one with my eyes half open. And then my eyes become fully open. Like my little guy, I'm really proud of how cute it is. And I'm sad I didn't get to record most of it, because that's the fun part. I screwed up the fun part, but you get to see me animate a face, which on all my other animations I never made the face different for my little guy. So I think this is not like a big improvement, but it's me stepping out of my comfort zone. I'm so scared to get the face wrong, but I'm really happy I was inconsistent, or not I did something different. Fuck, I'm sorry. I'm running off of not enough sleep, but enough about me not sleeping. For this animation, I decided to keep some of the details, the cybernetic details, like the little cybernetic tattoo dealies that I have all over me, because and then this new version is supposed to be like a robot. So I decided to try to keep some of those. I didn't keep the mouth thing because since everything's the same line weight, I'd look a little weird. Maybe not weird, but like it'll look creepy. Because some of the cybernetic traits are very dependent on the fact that the line art is not defined at all, or like really thin, to not make it look like Pennywise. So I just cut it for this, also because it's attached to the mouth, and that's a whole can of worms of animation I don't know how to do. Yeah. I thought about not shading it, but then I ended up deciding I wanted to shade it. At first I was only going to really shade the eyes, and I didn't add that much detail to the eyes because they're moving and that'd be pain. I still do like it. I like the fact that the eyes aren't that complicated or that detailed, because in my normal chibi style, the eyes are just white circles because it looks really goofy and silly, and usually whenever I draw chibis, they're doing something goofy and silly. Here, I'll put up a picture of my doodle, editing Mia. Remember this, please, for once. This is what my chibis look like usually. They're usually really bad and unfinished and stupid. But I love it. It's so fun to just relax. Okay, and then for this step, I numbered each frame so I knew which frame was which. And then after I was done duplicating it however many times I wanted the animation to last, which this was about 6 seconds. I thought it was longer, but I tried. And then I copy and pasted the faces I wanted to use for each frame. So as you can see, I used the basic my eyes open face frame for a majority of the frames, and then I went in, and then after the initial eye opening yawn animation, I played it backwards at the end of the animation so it would smoothly loop into each other so that it wouldn't look choppy and weird. I think that's the smoothest part of the animation, is the face, because there are some inconsistencies and choppiness with it. Even I know it's 4 frames per second, but 4 frames per second can be used nicely in some anime and stuff, or it's more like slice of life and less like action anime, where it's more like dependent on like the frame rate and like the action. Some scenes will be 4 frames per second, and they look better than way better than. That's because I don't study animation. That's not a thing I've ever done. I probably should. It's just more or less something I do for funsies, so it's not like I'm like super deep about whether or not, oh no, I'm not doing this right, the world's gonna end. I'm not. If anything, I'll just improve later, and then I will redo this animation later, improved. That's probably what I'm gonna do about the intro, which I need to do, but I'm probably gonna take a break from animating. I saw some people doing MLP redesigns, and I was never really into My Little Pony, but I know somebody who was, and I might do that because that sounds like fun. I don't know which designs though. I don't know if I can draw horses, but I'll try to draw horses. So yeah. For the shading, I kept it consistent by getting the opacity at 45 and then merging it down on normal layer. So it would normally be 45, because I realized when I copy and pasted it normally, the opacity would be at 100 and not 45. And then I just switched it to multiply because the multiply wouldn't transfer over. And then every other frame, this was like for frame number 1, right? And 1 and 3, I copy and pasted it because it was basically the same face frame. For every face framing, or not every face frame, but for every one of those frames, and then every second frame had a different shading to it, and then every 5th frame, and yeah, you get the idea. And I just copy pasted it so that the shading would stay consistent, because the onion skinning wasn't helping me. I already colored it. Because as you can see, the onion skin is now just a big silhouette, so I needed to make sure I didn't royally really screw up the shading. I also thought about matching the shading to the background, but I ended up not. I thought it helped my little guy pop out a little bit and make me stand out, because It's adorable. My little guy is adorable. I love my little guy. Ever since I transitioned from using stills to the little animated dude on the side, I've enjoyed it way more because it leaves less work for me per week, and it's just so cute. Like when I'm watching my speed paints, I usually already have the frame on, and I get to watch my little dude just go back and forth. It's so much more fun. I also know it adds some visual interest to the actual speed paint. It's a lot more fun for you guys, especially when the drawing is getting stale. You can look at my little guy. I love my little guy. Sorry, that was really silly, but it's true. So yeah, after I got done shading, I debated doing highlights, but I was like, this is getting too much for how okay this animation is, because I didn't think highlights were gonna do anything too terribly much, and so I decided to stop there. And then after playing the animation a few times, I made the background orange because I use a green screen, but I can't use green because there's green in my design. So I use a different color. Like, it used to be red, but since my new skin tone is now pink, I was scared to use red because I was like, oh god, it's gonna do something weird. And then I was like, I can't use like a purple, and I can't use green, and then I landed on an orange. And I also was like, oh, it goes more with my background because now it's sunflowers in a sunset. I also decided to combine the animation layer and the frame because it makes my life easier and it makes the export time faster, so no more late uploads. Because when I was uploading late most of the time, it was because my old editing software took 3 years to upload, and it was getting worse and worse by the week to process and to export it. And so I just was like, okay, we're done. I'm breaking up with you. And so I went to I now edit with DaVinci, which the export times are way less, as long as I'm not like doing something like insane or like really long. But yeah, but thank you guys for watching. I know this video low-key, and that was disappointing because I forgot to record a part of it, but I want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.